Welcome to Fantasy and Enchantment, where I describe fantasy books to my husband and see if he is enchanted. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Justin.
As usual, we're going to start out with content warnings. We will swear a lot. Adult language, be warned. Spoilers for the books that we're reading, also very important to watch out for those. We're going in detail, so if you haven't read it, why are you here? This week, we are doing Dragon Sex Part 2.
Yay!
Justin's very excited. It's Iron Flame.
At some point, we really need to delve into this author and figure out why she has such a fetish for dragon.
Actually, so she's kind of known for doing pretty typical romance books. This is the first time she's gotten into fantasy at all.
So she does those books with Fabio on the cover with his long hair and no shirt on and some woman attached to him at the hips.
I mean, not quite like that, but yes.
So she's just got a fetish for books in general.
Oh, and a lot of military romance. And you get that kind of vibe from these, too, because it's a war college that they're at.
All right. So that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Okay. She's just into writing about doing it.
Yeah, that's a whole genre, Justin.
And here you are patronizing it.
You got a problem with it?
Hey, do what you do, I guess. Like what you like. Touch yourself to whatever floats your boat.
Okay.
Rubbing the bald man in the canoe.
Oh my god. I can't.
Too far? No such thing. Let's go!
Okay, we're gonna read the description. Are you ready?
Let's do it. Oh, I see the map.
And there's a map again. It's basically the same map. Everyone expected Violet Sorengale to die during her first year at Basgiath's War College, Violet included, but threshing was only the first impossible test meant to weed out the weak-willed, the unworthy, and the unlucky. Now the real training begins, and Violet's already wondering how she'll get through. It's not just that it's grueling and maliciously brutal, or even that it's designed to stretch the writer's capacity for pain beyond endurance. It's the new Spice Commandant, who's made it his personal mission to teach Violet exactly how powerless she is, unless she betrays the man she loves. Although Violet's body might be weaker and frailer than everyone else's, she still has her wits and a will of iron, and leadership is forgetting the most important lesson Basgiath has taught her. Dragon riders make their own rules. But a determination to survive won't be enough this year, because Violet knows the real secret hidden for centuries at Basgiath War College, and nothing, not even dragonfire, may be enough to save them in the end.
All right. There's that.
Okay. No comments there?
I guess we'll just dive right in and see who's fucking who this time.
Okay, so at the end of last book, we learned Venin and Wyvern are real.
Real. What? Can we get a description on those two?
Yeah, so I should have done that more last time, but Venin they're people who have taken magic like from the land directly and it's corrupted them. So like think of like a dark wizard or a warlock or something.
Okay.
So magic that they're not supposed to have, but because they have this extra magic that they're not supposed to have, they're really powerful.
Bonus magic.
And because they have this extra magic, they can create Wyvern. Wyvern aren't born, they're made.
Okay.
Wyvern are like dragons, but not quite. So these are kind of like the Game of Thrones dragons.
Standard issue dragon.
Standard issue
right
dragon.
off the shelf dragon.
Yes. Wyvern are similar, but they're a little bit smaller, and they've got 4 legs and wings. So 6 total appendages.
That's a lot of appendages.
It is.
7 if you count the other one.
Stop.
We're gonna count it. We're gonna count it in these books. You gotta count the dragon penis in these books.
Oh my god.
If there's anything I learned from the first one, it's that there's gonna be penises.
Okay. Moving on.
Are we though?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
In
To
fact.
the description.
We
of
read the description.
The penises.
Not that description.
All right.
We also learned that her older brother is in fact alive.
Right. That was
She
at
thought
the
he
end.
was dead.
Yeah.
Yes. We opened this book basically right after the last one ended. She was injured. She was healed. That's Brennan's magical ability. He's a mender, is what they call it. He can heal people.
Okay. That's probably better than common lightning.
Yes.
In fairness. A
Yeah.
little more useful, I'd imagine.
Yep. He helps her heal. That's Zayden took her to Aridia, where he's from. So she is in his house, which is like a rebel station at this point.
Okay.
The rebels gather there. Brennan is there. He's a rebel leader. I think he's a colonel at this point. He explains that he had to fake his death because he found out the truth, and so like this was the only way to make sure like nobody came after him when they realized that he knew the truth. So nobody else knows he's alive at this point,
Got
other
it.
than the rebels.
Okay.
Violet goes on this big, long speech about how she can't trust Xaden anymore because he didn't tell her this very, very critical information about how he was working with the Griffin Riders and that Venom and Wyvern were real, and also that her brother was not dead. She's just mad at Xaden.
I mean, she's somewhat founded in that feeling, I guess.
It's a complicated situation because there are lives at stake.
Yeah.
So, but she's refusing to, she's not fucking him right now because she's mad at him, basically.
Temporary, I'm sure.
Yes, temporary abstinence is what we're calling this.
All right.
Okay.
Lasts a whole 5 or 6 pages before
No,
she starts getting dicked down again.
no, it doesn't.
All right.
Okay. They have an assembly of the rebel leaders. She finds out that they're looking for something called a luminary, which is going to repair the wards at Arisha, which will make it safer for the people who live there. Because the wards are what keep the Wyvern and the Venom out.
Got it.
But Arisha doesn't have those wards right now, so they're in danger all the time,
All right.
basically. They decide to let Xaden and the rest of the squad and Violet go back to Basquiat, but they have to be very careful that she doesn't touch Dane so he can see what happened.
Yeah.
And-
Also, wouldn't he just assume that she was dead?
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
Dane can't touch her. She can't tell anybody else. Lots of secrets.
Secret.
Secrets. They get back to Basquiat. Everyone is very surprised that they're still alive because they were sent there to die.
Not dead yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is like Dane thought she was probably gonna die when she was out there. So did Dane's dad, the colonel.
Who set him up to be killed?
Yes.
Right.
So everyone's very surprised. They come up with this story that like they were attacked by Griffin riders, but they managed to get away. They say that Liam died in that attack. They don't mention the Venom or the Wyvern because Liam's dead.
Right.
Violet's gonna do some research to figure out how to fix Arisha's wardstone. After the battle at the end of the book, Andarna when the gold baby dragon
Okay.
went into like this deep sleep state. So she's asleep. Nobody can wake her up.
Super
Taryn-
sleepy.
Super sleepy. Taryn mentions that it's like the dragons are very secretive about this phase of their like growing up process because no one even really knew she was a baby dragon. They just thought she was a different species of dragon.
Right.
So
Turns out she's just a little bitty dragon.
she's a little bitty dragon. She's going to sleep so she can become a teenage dragon.
Oh, okay. She'll probably be all moody.
She will, in fact. It's pretty funny.
Hit the nail right on the head.
Teenage sass. Snarky Taryn and sassy Andarna. They are quite the team.
Okay.
Because you gotta remember that Violet's got both of their voices in her head sometimes.
Right.
And they're going back and forth with each other. It's pretty entertaining, actually.
Psychic dragon talk.
Yes. Xaden graduates officially, so now he's part of the war effort.
Okay.
But remember, he can't be separated from Violet.
Yeah, he's still
because
got
of
to
the
hang
dragons.
around. Right.
Yeah. So the deal that the school makes is that they will take turns back and forth once a week. Violet's going to go there. Xaden will come back to the college so that their dragons can fuck, basically.
Right.
And then be on their way.
Dragons can't do the abstinence thing.
No abstinence for dragons. We're not doing that. During graduation, we're introduced to this new character, Vice Commandant Varish. He's an asshole. He basically has it out from Violet. He knows, it's not clear how he knows for sure, but he knows that Violet knows.
Okay. Is Violet's mom still around? Because I thought she was a pretty high-ranking member here in the school.
Yeah, she's still around. She's still a general. Violet's had a couple run-ins with her where they clearly don't have the best relationship. Probably because you made her join a death college.
Yeah. Murder college.
Just saying, Mom. She was not involved with the war games. She didn't know what exactly Violet was walking into. At this point, she doesn't know that Violet knows.
But mom knows.
Mom knows.
Okay.
Because she's a high-ranking military official.
So she would know.
Yeah.
Like, just like our high-ranking military officials all know that the Earth is actually flat. And Australia is not a real place.
We're not flat earthers. Do not tell these people that we're flat earthers.
Mom, but it's such a fun conspiracy theory.
It's so stupid.
It's ridiculous, but it's entertainment.
Stupid. We have known that the world was round since, like, the Greeks.
Since Christopher Columbus discovered America?
No, way before that. Shut up. Anyway, Violet finds out she's got to do like a rider survival class. So now that she has a dragon, she's gone through the first year of getting that dragon, learning.
She's got a bonus dragon.
She's got 2 dragons, yes. Bonus dragon. She now has to take a class revolving around like strategic flying and all that kind of stuff.
Do they really have a whole lot of control over the dragons while they're flying them? I would imagine, especially if the dragons are sentient and talking, that they probably do whatever the fuck they want. You probably don't have a whole lot of control while you're riding said dragon.
Well, I mean, you can talk to your dragon and like tell it like, hey, go over there.
Hey, turn left.
Yeah, but
Probably.
sometimes the dragon is in control, but sometimes that's for the best. But it's
Yeah,
more
just-
about like,
It seems like strategic dragon flying is kind of silly because the dragon's gonna kind of take over at some point, I'd imagine.
yeah, but I mean, the rider survival class is more about like what happens if you get separated from your dragon. How do you get back to your dragon? How do you dismount from your dragon like midair and not die? What happens if you need to get off that dragon real fucking fast?
Okay.
So it's not always just about the dragon is all in control while they're flying, but they're not always going to be flying.
Got it.
But they are also riders who ride dragons.
The whole thing seems a little complicated. It's a little bit more than just riding a horse.
It is, in fact,
It's a dragon.
a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a dragon.
I'm glad that the dragons are so cooperative when it comes to going to school and taking classes and stuff.
It's explained as like this partnership where like the dragons and the humans realized that they had to work together in order to protect one, the dragon hatchling nest, which is at the war college, and two, like the whole surrounding area. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship.
Do the dragons lay the eggs and then the eggs are fertilized, or do they fertilize the eggs before they're laid?
I'm pretty sure it's before they're laid because there's some dragon fucking, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to clarify if the dragon fucking is
Also, I
purely
think
a pleasurable experience or
like-
if it's a mating procreation experience.
I think it's like humans. It can be either or.
Okay, so they're like dolphins. They have sex for pleasure.
Yes.
Okay,
Dolphins, humans, and now dragons.
got it. I think, is it pigs? There's another animal that has sex for pleasure. I don't remember which one it is.
Okay. Well,
We'll revisit.
I was about to say that, and I was like, do we really need to, though?
We probably won't revisit.
No, we probably won't. And
Stay
that's
tuned.
Fine. Okay. Violet has a friend in the archives, because remember, she was going to be a scribe.
Yeah.
Friend's name is Jacinia. Jacinia is deaf. Not super important to the story, but still, she's deaf. She talks to Jacinia. She's looking for stuff to help with this wardstone problem, but she's also trying to make sure that Jacinia and her other friends don't really know because she doesn't want them to be in danger. It's all very secretive.
Got it.
They do conscription day again, which is where the newbies come. They have to cross the parapet
Yeah.
and not die.
Next new class of people
Yes.
to kill, essentially, because that's what they do, is they just murder everybody who comes in.
Yes.
Got it.
It's when we find out that Liam has a little sister whose name is Sloane. Sloane fucking hates Violet because she blames Violet for Liam's death.
Understandably so.
I mean,
It's secretive. She doesn't know.
so Liam was Zayden's cousin, I think. Also had a rebellion relic. His parents were also involved in the rebellion. Liam knew about the Venin and the Wyvern, so Sloane also knows about the Venin and the Wyvern.
Does she?
Yes.
Okay,
She
so that's
also has a
addressed.
relic.
Okay.
So she has to kind of know that, like, the Venin and the Wyvern killed your brother, not Violet.
Well,
Violet tried very hard to save him, in fact. Anyway, there's also this new guy named Eric, but it's spelled weird.
I was going to say a normal name, but it's probably like
I wrote it down.
AEYRC or something. I was actually close. It's
Arrick.
stupid. That's not how you spell Eric.
Well, that's also not his real name. He's the king's son, but he's not supposed to be in this war college because he could die. So he made like a
So
fake
he's
identity.
He's the prince.
He's the prince.
Okay.
He's doing this very secretively because he wants to be a dragon rider.
It seems like a hard thing for a prince to pull off, to get out of the castle and join a murder college.
He did it! Good for you, Eric. We also meet Varish's dragon, who's got one eye.
Pirate!
I knew you were going to
That's
say
a
it.
pirate dragon. One eye, hook for a claw, peg leg, whole thing. Rides on a boat.
Okay.
Pirate.
As soon as I knew you were going to say it.
Looking for the booty. Swabbing the poop deck.
Okay. His dragon is a giant asshole. Taryn ends up, big black dragon ends up,
BBD.
yeah, ends up threatening him to keep him in line because he just starts incinerating the students at one point.
So is BBD kind of like the head dragon?
Yeah, he's very old. He's one of the most powerful dragons alive right now.
Okay. He's
Big deal
dick,
dragon.
He's big dick swinging around the dragons.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Okay, and then do you remember her friend Rhiannon? the black girl.
Yep.
She is very suspicious. She knows that Violet's hiding something because Violet isn't really talking to her anymore because Violet doesn't want to let something slip by accident.
Yeah.
So she's not happy. Violet is getting letters from Xaden while he's out stationed, where he's like telling her about his life, trying to open up to her because she's still mad at him for keeping a bunch of secrets.
Sending her nudes, no doubt.
There's no mention of nudes, no. Varish, the vice commandant who's an asshole, demands to see Andarna, Gold Dragon.
Okay.
But
she's sleeping.
But she's sleeping, and it's a secret. The dragons don't want the humans to know how the growing up process works for dragons because it's a real vulnerable time for them.
Okay.
She could be hurt very easily right now. She can't defend herself.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
She's sleeping. She can be asleep for a while. Violet basically just says, I'll see what I can do because she can't wake Andarna up. A dragon is not a dog. They don't come when you call them.
You can't just, like, get a bone out. Or
Taryn actually says at one
treats.
point, dragons do not answer to humans. They have their, like, if
rightfully so. It seems like in the pecking order, they're probably a little bit ahead of people.
the dragons are on top.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah. They've got their own, like, government structure. It's called the Imperium. That's actually what the series is named after.
Oh, so they have their own hierarchy going on within the dragon world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Do they vote?
yeah, they meet sometimes and they vote on
Is
issues.
there election interference?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Just wondering.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Okay. But in retaliation for not being able to see baby gold dragon, Varish decides that he's going to help, quote unquote, Violet train her lightning wielding.
She seems to have that pretty under control.
Well, the problem is she can't do it reliably and she can't aim it all. So it just comes out and it
There's
goes wherever.
lightning all over the fucking
Lightning
place.
all over the place. And as we've discussed, that's bad when it also happens when you're having sex.
Yeah, because she comes lightning.
Yes.
Sprays it all over the place.
Okay. But he's doing it to the point where, like, she's about to burn out and die. Like, she's working herself too much. She's gonna die. So, Taryn has to come in again and basically threaten to kill his dragon to get him to stop.
Okay.
So, because if dragon dies, he dies.
Yeah.
They do this big survival game in the forest that they just managed to get out of alive. During that, we learn that there's like a special potion poison that they can give the students that cuts off their connection with the dragons. So,
File that in the bank for later because that's going to come back at some point.
yep. While they're out in the forest, they run into Jack's dragon, Jack Barlow, the asshole. His dragon.
He did.
Still around.
Right.
Still mad. Violet finds out that the government is sending out these propaganda pamphlets about there have been Griffin riders who have been seen trying to get the resources that they need, about how aggressive these griffins are, even though that's not true, about some other stuff. She also finds out about the first six, so the 6 people who first came together to form her country. They were the people who set up the wards. So she thinks if she can find more information about these first 6 people, she can find the answer she needs to fix the wards. They had to have written it down somewhere. Let's
So
see.
she's got to dig through a library.
She got to go in the library.
There's always a library. These book people love their libraries.
Yeah, Justin, libraries are useful.
Government-funded, pathetic friend. Just
Hey.
loaning out their stuff.
How many library books have I read in the last few months?
Way too many. What are you going to do if you bring it back late? Charge me. What are you going to charge me? What? Nickel?
Stop. Stop it. Dane and Violet have a fight, which is very difficult for her because, again,
She can't touch him.
can't touch him.
Can't
They-
touch this. No. No.
What's
You
that?
didn't expect an MC Hammer reference
No.
in your book review today, did you?
Did not.
There
actually.
it is.
There it is. They do interrogation training, which Marish is a part of. He uses it as an excuse to try to torture what she knows out of her. It doesn't really work. At this point, Dane, like, finally mans up because Barish orders Dane to touch her, to get her memories. And Violet was like, fuck, it's gonna happen anyway. I gotta show him everything. So Dane sees the whole battle and then decides, like, oh shit, I know what she's hiding. I know why she's hiding it. I'm on her side, not this asshole's side. So Dane grows a spine.
Oh, okay.
Good for you, Dane.
Hey. She could have just came lightning and struck him down and then not have to worry about it. But I guess she didn't want to do that.
Zayden's not there. She can't do that.
Well,
I mean, she could.
she didn't know how to control it without somebody giving her the old poking.
Well, she still can't aim very well, so she's got no idea where that lightning's gonna hit.
Fair.
It's just all over the place.
Be the solution to a lot of problems if you could just control lightning and strike people down left and right.
Yeah. Also, right around now is when we find out that Jack Barlow is not dead. Not dead.
So his dragon's just pissed off for no reason.
Well, he did almost die. They had a mender, a person who heals there, has been working for the last few months to try to get it back to life. I don't know why they were so determined to save this one asshole guy, but they were.
People dying left and right in these books, and they're just real concerned about the one prick.
Yes.
It makes perfect sense.
Not dead. Asshole. Violet finds out that Xaden was injured during some kind of fight, so she gets on a dragon and flies when she's not supposed to. Flies out to see him. They have sex.
Okay, so she's not mad at him anymore.
Not mad at him anymore.
Okay.
They're back to
Back
fighting.
to doing it.
She meets Serena, who's a griffin flyer, and her younger sister Katrina, who's kind of a bitch. And we'll learn more about Katrina later. Also learned that Katrina was Xaden's ex somehow, and now she's mad at Xaden again because that seems like something he should have mentioned. You're gonna run into my ex while you're here, by the way.
I guess so.
There's this other person who has the luminary that they need, so Violet's trying to figure out a way to meet with him to get the luminary. In the meantime, she goes back to the college, runs into Varish, who knows, obviously, that she left without permission, real mad about it. She finally tells Rhiannon and the rest of the squad about the Venom and the Wyvern, so now everybody's on the same page. She's got help looking for the shit that she needs about the first six and the wards. It's in the archives. There's a journal there that was written by one of these first six people that they think has the information they need. So they have to get down to the archives, but it's in a special vault that can only be unlocked by someone of royal blood. It's a good thing. There's a prince there now.
Good. Oh, what a coincidence. We've got a prince.
Yeah. So they start planning that mission. Threshing happens again, which is when the unbonded students try to get a dragon.
Right.
Violet gets put on watch on like a command tower. Barish sends some people to try to kill her, and Jack Barlow saves her life. So
Question mark?
yeah, question mark there. They do the vault mission. They barely make it out. Barish almost catches them with the journal. Well, no, he does. He does catch them. This is the point where I just started writing down names, and I really got to stop doing this.
Bad note taking.
I am not always the best at this. I'm very sorry. So, Varys catches them. They're being tortured and interrogated, and there's this weird moment where it's not clear if Violet is hallucinating or something else is happening, but she sees Liam, and Liam is trying to talk her through it. Like, you can hold on for longer. You can do this. You're stronger than this. Dane comes in, saves the day.
I really hope they don't pay a whole lot of tuition at this school where they're constantly being tortured and trying to be murdered by their
I think it's
professors.
a free school.
I would hope so.
Yeah, so would I. Pay us money to let you die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Xaden comes, rescues Violet. They kill Varish together. So he's dead.
And he was with the school.
He was with the school. He was a teacher at the school. He was.
So they just killed their teacher.
Yep. Also part of the military because all the teachers are also military members.
This is like an American school, and all these kids are going on rampages all the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Bunch of school shootings going on here.
They run into General Sorengale, who is Violet's mother, who says, like, I'm sorry for keeping all of this from you. I didn't mean for you to find out like this, but I would do anything to protect my children. But she lets Violet go.
I do anything to protect my children, except for not put them in this murder school.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And also tell them the truth.
Yeah, that all makes perfect sense.
Not great parenting. They go back to Orisha now with a lot of the other kids from the school because
They're all just skipping. They're like, this school sucks.
They announced to the school before they left, like, this is what's really happening. Anybody who wants to come with us can come with us. So, like, half the school just up and left and went to this castle thing in Orisha.
All right, school rebellion.
School rebellion. The assembly meets up to talk about what's going to happen. They essentially decide that they're just going to continue to have lessons just here instead of there.
Okay.
So, but there are also some Griffin Riders there, and they decide to combine the Griffin Riders and the Dragon Riders, who don't really like each other.
Seems like a good idea.
Yep.
Do the Griffins and the Dragons get along, or just the kids? Or do they not really touch on that?
I don't remember there being a lot of discussion about that.
Okay.
So.
Did the Dragons all come with them? Because didn't the Dragons have a home at the school?
Yes. So the bonded dragons came with their riders because they kind of have to. They got to stay close together. The unbonded dragons stayed at the War College with the eggs. Andarna wakes up, Gold Dragon, wakes up from her long nap, finally. She's no longer Gold Dragon. She's like iridescent now.
Weird.
She's got one stunted wing. like malformed wings, so she can't fly.
Unfortunate.
Which means she's never going to have a rider. Also unfortunate. But they build her this little harness so that Big Black Dragon can strap her to his chest as he's flying around. It's a very funny picture.
It's like a baby Bjorn kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for dragons.
All right. Dragon Bjorn.
Dragon Bjorn. Mira shows up, Violet's sister, and Brennan is there, and she punches Brennan in the face.
Boom.
Because she's like, I mourned you, asshole. I thought you were dead.
Fair.
They're going to try to fix the wards. Violet thinks she's got it figured out. She thinks it's something to do with dragon fire. She needs 6 dragons to combine to make an iron flame.
Don't cross the streams.
An iron flame.
Iron flame.
That's how we got the book title.
There it is, right there on the cover.
Yes. It doesn't really work, so she's got to go back. It's in this old language, so she's got to go back to the translation, figure out what happened. But there was an attempt. Yay.
Okay.
They also still need the luminary. So she makes a deal with this Viscount. And at that time, we learn that Xaden and Katrina were not just together, they were betrothed. Because Katrina is a Viscount's niece, so it was like a political relationship more than anything else.
Okay.
So that's another thing that Xaden didn't fucking tell her.
He's just leaving out some details.
Also, Katrina has this ability to amplify emotions. So,
That seems like a useless ability.
well, she can kind of drive people nuts with it, though.
I guess so.
So they have this big banquet. Violet's got this fancy dress on. Everybody's trying to get along. At the banquet, the Viscount says, if you can open this chest, figure it out, I'll let you have the luminary. Open the chest, and a venom comes out. So Warlock Dude was somehow in this chest.
Doesn't make any sense at all, but okay.
But she manages to kill him with lightning.
Okay.
So she won, but she's still fucking pissed.
Right.
This is when the Griffin Flyers officially start training with them. And we get a lot more information about the differences between how Griffin riders are trained versus Dragon riders. So the Griffin Flyers are actually not expected to kill each other.
Oh, how nice.
And are allowed to mourn the people that do die. Because that's another thing that the War College does, is they announce the names in the morning and then everybody gets up and moves on with their day. So, like...
Kind of a cold system, if you would.
Yup. So that's helpful information to have. Like, oh, this is not normal, as it turns out.
Yep.
There's another wyvern attack that they managed to fend off. There's also a moment where they're sparring with the Griffin riders, and it's Violet versus Katrina, who has the ability to amplify emotions. She can sense that Violet is jealous, so she makes her more jealous, to the point where Violet starts beating the shit out of her and almost kills her. Which would have been awful for Katrina, but it also would have been awful for Violet, because then she would have been put to death, because they're not allowed to kill each other while they're there.
Okay, got it.
So,
They just whooped her real good.
yeah. So,
Best case scenario, really. She got it all out, and she got to beat the shit out of that girl and doesn't get in a whole lot of trouble for it.
they pull her off of Katrina before she can kill her, though. And Xaden is one of the people who pulls her off, and then he takes her into this big throne room, sits her on the throne, and gives her oral while she's sitting there.
Of course.
And that's a whole scene in the book.
And then she comes lightning all over the place.
I don't know if at this point she's still doing that or not, but there's a good chance that yes, there was lightning.
Either way, they probably want to wash that throne.
Also, the city of Orisha is in this place called Tirandor, and this is when Xaden reveals, because this is
He's just full of secrets, this guy.
full of secrets, that his dad was the king of Tirandor, but his dad is dead. So guess who's the king now?
He's the king.
He is technically the king.
And he just
of
ate her out on the
Tirandor.
throne.
Yes. Yep.
Cool.
This is also when Violet learns that, so her signet is lightning. Xaden can, like, make shadows and control shadows. There's
Odd.
he's a shadow daddy. It's a thing. But,
His power is also licking buttholes, apparently.
I never said her butthole.
He probably went a little further south. I'm just going to assume.
Okay. Whatever.
Seems like the kind of guy who gets a little weird.
Okay. Anyway, this is when she learns that sometimes people can develop second signets under specific circumstances. So if a dragon is bonded with someone, that person dies, and then later they bond with that person, one of that person's descendants, that person can sometimes develop a second signet. There's also a chance that Violet might have one because she's got two
dragons. That would make sense.
Unclear at this point. Varish's dragon sneaks up on them where they're doing this team challenge where they're hiking through the mountains. and Darna, the gold dragon, the no longer gold dragon.
Yeah, the used to be gold dragon.
Used to be gold dragon, teenage sassy dragon, kills Varish's dragon.
Pretty impressive since she doesn't have a wing.
Yeah, she's still tough as shit. She is still a dragon, so there's that. But also she's in a lot of trouble with the Empyrean because dragons are not supposed to kill other dragons. But they meet, they decide that she's fine because he was threatening her rider, and that's also a big deal.
Fair. Okay.
So that happens. Violet realizes that Xaden probably has a second signet because his dragon is blue. So blue dragon was originally bonded to one of his his grandfather, I think. So they've got that connection. So we should have a second one. So Xaden like flies her off somewhere away from everybody else and is real secretive about it. And he's like, "What's the worst thing it could be? He could read minds. That's illegal in Navarre because they don't want military secrets getting out."
Okay.
So if anybody had found out, they would have killed him. Violet has actually seen someone killed at the college because he started reading people's minds and he was just starting to go nuts. And so he's dead now.
Okay.
They just snapped his neck and he was dead.
That's a solution.
Yes. He can't read people's thoughts exactly. He says he can kind of sense people's intentions. So he knew for sure when Violet decided she was going to fuck him.
He could just tell.
Yeah, he could tell. But that's why he never mentioned it before, because it is literally life or death for him.
Got it.
They go back to Basgiath because they realize there's an attack coming. They decide that they're gonna see if there's a second journal there from one of the first 6. And they find that, but then there's another fight at Basgiath that they're trying to prepare for. Violet's mom is there. Big family reunion because it's Violet, Mira, her son who she thought she was dead.
Yeah.
And then her. Big family reunion. Dad is still dead, though.
Is mom pissed off that Violet left the school?
Not at this
and
point.
basically joined the rebellion?
No, she gave her the option to
Okay.
leave. Like, she was...
It's weird that mom stayed and they're essentially on opposite sides of this.
I mean, it is a little bit, but also, like, that's her job, I guess? I don't know. Anyway.
Gotta get that paycheck so you can put these kids through your murder school.
Yeah.
Expensive tuition.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I hope there is not a tuition expense involved. That would make this so much worse. Anyway, the General Sorengale says the wards here are fine, and Violet says, let's go check to make sure. So they check. They go down to where the ward stone is to check the wards, and all the guards are dead. And there's Jack Barlow, who is now a Venom, so he's corrupted himself with magic.
Okay.
He's got... They describe him as having like really veiny looking faces at a certain point and red eyes, and it's not pretty. It's very obvious once someone has crossed that line.
Okay. It's got a whole thing going on.
Whole thing. And Jack has destroyed the ward stone. So officially, the dragon hatchling grounds are very vulnerable because the venom can get in and kill all of them. Because dragons are basically the only thing that can really kill them. So kill them first. Kill the dragons first. They're starting to prep because they know the wyvern are going to be coming any second now. A whole bunch of people are there, including some of the Griffin riders. Like, it's a big team effort. Jacinia comes, runs up to Violet and says, the translation was wrong. It's 7 dragons. You need 7 dragons.
You were short a dragon.
You were short a dragon. And the important thing is, each color dragon is technically like a different species of dragon. So at first, she's like, well, there's only 6 species of dragon. And she has like a light bulb moment. And Andarna is the 7th species of dragon. And Andarna says, I was waiting in an egg for 650 years, and I felt you, and when you came here, I decided to hatch. So she's been waiting for Violet.
Got it.
She's very super special, 7th species of dragon. They're trying to get the wards back up with the 7 dragons. General Sorengale sacrifices herself to give extra power so that they can restore the wards. So her mom is dead.
Okay.
Now.
Killed by the wyverns?
No, so I think it's Sloane who has the ability to like suck power out of people. So in order to give the wards more power, she tells Sloane to suck the power out of her. So like she knew what she was doing. She did it willingly. Whole thing. Wards are fixed. But they're still kind of trying to bite off some of the venom in the meantime. But eventually, once the wards are fully up, they're either dead or they're gone. Because they can't be inside the wards. It's literally impossible.
Okay.
And Xaden and Violet have been separated at this point. So Violet goes to find Xaden. Xaden's not looking at her, and he's being real weird about it. He's like, would you still love me if this happened, if I did this, or if I did that? And she goes, why won't you look at me? And then he turns around, and he's got the red eyes. Xaden is now a Venom.
How did that happen?
in his desperation, so he's been having dreams about this Venom general who's coming to get him, and they met on the battlefield, and in his desperation to protect himself and Violet, he let the magic corrupt him. He did this to save their lives, essentially. But it's also a line that you can't uncross.
Okay.
That we know of at this point. So that's the end of this book. Xaden is now kind of a bad guy. We don't know what's going to happen next.
Does that like dark magic like take over his personality to where he's evil, or is he still like a good guy but he's this weird?
I mean, it's described as like a corruption. So some people are like, you start off with just the eyes, and
It's gonna take over, and with time,
it will eventually, like, he'll be like full blown crazy person.
full blown bad guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Right now he's. What happens to his dragon? Does his dragon become bad too?
So not at this point. It's unclear what happens with the dragon bond, but I guess we'll find out in the next book.
And is the next book out, or is this we're still waiting? That's January, right?
That's January, yeah.
So we don't know nothing till January.
I don't know shit.
All right.
That was the cliffhanger I had to end on. He's a Venom. Ta-da! The end.
And she's got to decide if she still wants to fuck him or not.
Yes, that's got to be weird.
Also, he's a king.
He is also the king.
He's King Venom.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So,
All right. Well, that's quite a place to leave off.
yeah, she's really into cliffhangers.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And dragon sex.
And dragon sex. What do you think I rated this one?
You rated the first one. You rated a 4, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say you probably stuck with the 4.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Keeping it with the 4s.
Any notes you'd like to share, Justin, about your experience so far?
I mean, I guess other than I'm definitely gonna forget all this by January. And
Yeah.
We're gonna have to basically start with a real big recap because I'm not gonna remember any of this shit.
Yeah, I know.
Other than the dragon sex, that's probably burned into my memory at this point. Also, the coming lightning and the licking buttholes on the throne.
Okay.
There it is.
There it is. So, next time we are diving into Crescent City, which is another Sarah J. Maas book.
Oh boy.
Those ones are fucking complicated. You were in for a ride. I'll tell you
Man,
right
these
now.
are complicated enough. I can't keep straight all the names, and there's so much nonsense going on.
It would be easier if you read the book.
That's never gonna happen. It'd be easier if they just made a movie.
I think I think this is becoming like an Amazon Prime show or something.
We'll never see that. We don't have Amazon Prime. It's not gonna happen. Put it on Netflix or HBO Max or something. We've got those.
Okay.
I'm not paying for Amazon.
Okay.
You're not getting my dollars, Amazon.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok, FAE Podcast. Leave comments, suggestions for books for me to read in the future. My TBR list is only a mile long. I could take it up to 2 easily.
Less complicated stuff. Things with normal names.
He might be asking for a lot here. Don't listen to him. We will see you next time.
Bye!